Hello, and thank you for stopping by. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when new videos arrive. I haven't been doing videos as much as I should. I'm in the process of changing my format. I'm going to be hiring somebody shortly to help me with my videos to do the editing part of it. I'm possibly going to be getting somebody to help me with my design and my subject matter as well. But until I do that, it's just me and you and the camera. Today I want to talk to you about Joe Rogan, Neil Young, and Spotify. This is just my opinion. I don't have any facts to back this up, and I'm not going to try to sway you, but I am going to talk about how I feel on this subject. Joe Rogan does a podcast called The Joe Rogan Show or something. I've only watched it a couple times. I didn't really care for the subject matter. It just wasn't, to me, it wasn't that entertaining, although a lot of people enjoy it, especially people that are into MMA fighting and reality shows and things of that nature. I'm not really a big fan of Joe Rogan's, but he has this podcast. And on his podcast, he's been talking about the COVID virus. And he's been talking about how he's anti-vax. He has certain things that he believes in taking that are remedies, home remedies, things that are not FDA approved. And he talks about those. And he has people that comes on his show. Supposedly they're doctors that are talking about COVID. They're bringing a different narrative than what is being pushed by the WHO, World Health Organization. Now, Neil Young is on Spotify, and he doesn't like what Joe Rogan is doing. He believes that Joe Rogan is pushing disinformation, and he's being dangerous about it because he's not saying it's just his opinion. He's touting it as fact, according to Mr. Young. Now, Neil Young and Joe Rogan are both on Spotify. Now, Joe Rogan does the Spotify podcast, and he has a lot of people that are subscribers, paid members of his audience. And Neil Young has his music on Spotify, and he has loads and loads of people that listen to his music. And he got a hold of Spotify, and he said, it's either me or Joe Rogan. You can't have both. You can't have me on your platform as music and promote Joe Rogan's podcast because you're promoting something that's dangerous to the public. Now, as far as I know, Spotify is not an American company, although it is viewed in America. You can order in America. Spotify, I believe, is from Sweden. Now, their rules are totally different than ours. America has a different set of guidelines for things than other countries. Some of their stuff is more relaxed than ours. Some of it is more stringent than ours. But when Neil Young decided to tell Spotify, me or him, they decided to go with him, Joe Rogan. They took down Neil Young's music because he had said it's either me or him, and if you choose Joe Rogan, take my music down. So they did. And other musicians are getting behind Neil Young and saying that they want their music off the platform too if they do not go and take Joe Rogan down. I do not believe that they should take Joe Rogan's podcast off the air, but they did put a disclaimer on it. Back in the 80s, they did that with the music too. Rock and roll bands that did heavy metal that was purportedly satanic, they added these little stickers that say this could be backward masking, and it could have, of course, nobody truly understands what backwards masking is. They assume that it's you take music and you reverse the tape. Once you record it, you reverse the tape. Then you splice in a message into that, and you do it backwards. So whenever the music is played forwards, the message you want is in backwards. But that's not how it works. Nobody understands it, and I've tried to explain it, and nobody seems to be smart enough to understand what it is. It's not backwards masking as much as it is if you are talking on audio tape and somebody's recording you, but you're thinking, say you're talking to somebody that's interviewing you, and you're thinking as you're talking to this guy, man, this guy's a real schmuck. Man, these questions are just stupid, but you're making nice for the guy that's recording the audio. Well, it is very possible that when you play that audio back of you talking to that reporter, that your thought could come out in that music or in that audio. Like when you say a certain phrase, the way you say it, there could be a message in behind there that you were thinking. And if I played it backwards and you were able to understand it, you'd say, oh my God, how did they pick up that? I didn't say that. No, but you were thinking it. So Spotify put this disclaimer up on Spotify that says Joe Rogan could be promoting ideas and offering disinformation that might not be something you would want to hear. Go at your own peril, at your own risk. And so Joe Rogan said, fine, put that on there. I don't care. Let people know ahead of time that if they're going to watch my podcast or listen to my podcast, this is what they're in for. He was all for that. Neil Young was kind of pissed because he thought Spotify would drop Joe Rogan and go with him. But they were just doing business. Joe Rogan brings in a lot of listeners, and he has a lot of followers, and he makes a lot of money for Spotify each month. Neil Young makes a lot of money too, but they can survive without Neil Young. Now, if all the musicians decided to pull the plug on their music off of Spotify, and Spotify had nothing but Joe Rogan, then they might think a little bit about pulling Joe Rogan to keep their musicians. But right now, they're keeping Joe Rogan, and Neil Young took all of his music off of Spotify per request. Spotify got rid of him, saying, well, we hope that Neil Young comes back in the future. We'll welcome him back with open arms. They weren't chastising him, or they weren't giving him the boot for doing what he did. They're just like, okay, well, business is business, and we're keeping Joe Rogan. We're putting a leash on him, but we're still keeping him. And Joe Rogan was fine with that. How do you see it? Do you think that Joe Rogan should care about what he says? It is an open platform, and he's not forcing you to listen. He is just saying stuff that's his opinion. Now, he could say, this is my opinion, and make it stronger, that it's just his opinion and not fact. But when you've got one side saying it's fact and the other side saying it's fact, and both of them say they've got evidence to prove their side, who's right and who's wrong, what's fact and what's not fact. Fact is only, right now, fact is only what you believe. It's not what you can prove. It's what people will believe. And in the court of public opinion, a lot of people believe Joe Rogan. They think that the coronavirus is not the coronavirus. They think that it's been that this is all made up just to keep us under their thumb. That's what some people are thinking. Me personally, I think that people are getting sick. People are dying. I do think they're padding the numbers to make it seem worse than it really is. Is it bad? Yes. But is the Titanic sinking as quick as they want you to think it is? Maybe not. But so far, the Titanic is still afloat, but it is slowly sinking. If you have an idea for a video, or you want to comment on this video, put it down in the comments below. I want you to know that America is America, and it's become what it's become partly because of all the freedoms we have. But when our freedom starts to jeopardize somebody else's freedom, that's when we need to restrain ourselves. I don't think the government should restrain us. I think that the rules are the rules, and without the rules, there is chaos. And should we take it upon ourselves to censor ourselves? Most likely, yes, definitely we should. Just because we can say something, that doesn't mean that we honestly should say it. If it's going to hurt somebody else, we need to restrain ourselves. I'm going to leave you on this note. Make tomorrow better than yesterday by doing the very best we can today. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Also, hit the like and the subscribe button right down here. I'm going to let you go. Have a good evening, America, and all points beyond.